The Love is Blind reunion happened, and since it was so dumb, this video is going to be more of a rant than a recap. Let's get into it. Starting off with Megan and Jordan. Megan sitting over there talking about the reason why she cut things off with Jordan is because their lifestyles are just way too different. But she's telling us something we already know because she said that to Jordan in the finale. Tell us something we don't know. But I just don't understand why it took her so long to figure that out. I'm convinced her friends made her open up her eyes a little bit when they were over there talking about, are you sure you're in love with Jordan and not just his kid? I think Megan was holding on to that connection with her father having type 1 diabetes and Jordan's son having type 1 diabetes. Megan starts crying because of that time Jordan said he regrets introducing her to his son Luca. Then Jordan's all like, I never meant it like that. I just meant that Luca's just so young. He needs stability in his life. After Megan clarifies that statement she made about not thinking she'll ever be ready to be a mother, Jordan says, I believe Megan would be a great mom. Then that's when Nick and Vanessa goes, Megan has a surprise. She has a surprise. Turns out Megan was pregnant. She was hiding her pregnancy the whole time like she's Kylie Jenner, as if someone cares. She just had the baby 2.5 months ago. During this reunion, it was sometime in October, I believe. Filming wrapped in April, and by July, her friends introduced her to this bald-headed man. And you know he got money. And by October or November, she was pregnant. After she just got done saying in April, she doesn't know if she can be a mom. She says the only person who knew she was pregnant was Casey. Of all people, Casey. No good, low down, dirty Casey. So we're just going to move on to low down, dirty, no good Casey and Patrick. The whole time, Patrick was saying, apologize to me, I want an apology. As a matter of fact, say this to me right now. Say it right now. I apologize for the way I handled things. Casey's like, don't tell me how to apologize to you. And if she wasn't saying that, or why do I have to give you the ring back, she was sitting up there stiff and going, huh? Like she was confused the whole time. And you know what she said? I just wanted to protect him. How? By doing what? Then they start talking about the ring. Patrick still wants the ring back. Then Allie butts in. Wasn't nobody talking to her? And she was like, doesn't Netflix provide the rings anyway? Girl, shut up. Ain't nobody talking to you. It's about the principle of the whole thing. After all that back and forth, she finally gives Patrick the ring back. Then after that, something very stupid happens. NBA player Chris Paul is in the audience. They tell Patrick and Casey to come on down. Like it's Price is Right or something. Casey and Patrick start shooting hoops. They end up going into a tiebreaker. Chris Paul is like, if Casey wins, she gets to keep the ring. And guess what? Casey won. Patrick jokes and said he'll give her the ring back when they get to Denver, but I don't know if that's true. I wouldn't, but that was just so dumb. They was playing basketball for like 6 whole minutes or something. We spent way too much time on them. Even with all that wasted time spent, Casey still never admitted that she was never attracted to him. We move on to Madison and Joe, and even during this segment, we're still talking to Casey because Casey dated Joe after the show. Madison sitting over there fuming. They dated for about a month and a half, and I'm pretty sure it ended because neither of them know how to communicate. Madison says the reason why she feels like Joe ended things with her is because he saw someone specific at a pod reunion. Madison said Joe and Casey were flirting at a party the night before he broke up with her. Madison said Joe told her Casey had her hands all over his chest and she was giving him googly eyes. Mustache Joe was denying the whole thing. He said, I didn't say that. Then Madison said at another party, Casey went up to her and said, we're Eskimo sisters. So Madison's thinking Joe broke up with her because of Casey. But Madison, come here. Come here real quick. A little closer. He never liked you. That's why. Period. Don't be dumb. Even though Joe's sitting over there with that mustache on, talking about that's not true, I was attracted to her. I never should have talked about her weight on TV. And you shouldn't be wearing that mustache on TV. Joe said he has a girlfriend now, and don't nobody care? He said her name is Avery. Don't nobody care? It's Nick Annie and Kate's turn. Why Kate's sitting up there like she made it to the end or something? I don't know. But Nick apologizes to her. He tells her, I'm sorry for love bombing you. But you know who never apologized for love bombing? Annie. She was always doing that. Kate brings up how Nick was telling both her and Annie the same thing. He was telling all the girls the same thing. He had the same one-liners for all the girls. Are you really that upset about it? Or you just don't have anything else to talk about at the reunion? Because why are you there? They asked Annie, who were you texting when Nick was breaking up with you? She said she was texting her best friend Haley to tell her the wedding is off. Do not book that flight. Before this boring segment ended, Kate reveals that she went on one date with Brendan. Then after that, Brendan was all over Casey. Casey said, that's not true. You're a liar, girl. Don't nobody believe you. Moving on to Allie and Anton. Allie was sitting over there talking about how her and Anton never spoke about him going to strip clubs. Because, you know, that whole thing got brought up when Anton brought his friend and his friend brought his girlfriend at the time out to lunch. And the girlfriend was like, you know, they be going to strip clubs. Nick Lachey was like, well, if it was a problem, why did you never ask him about it? Fool. She was sitting over there like, couldn't answer one straight question. Then she says she just feels like her and Anton never had any conversation of substance. Then there goes Anton. That's not true. She goes on to say she sees where her friends were coming from when they were talking about his job, him being a truck driver and all. She see where they was coming from. She just kept on coming for him, coming for his neck. Then when she was asked, what was the last straw? When did you know you could not be with Anton? And guess what she done said? It was when we were in Mexico for our honeymoon and he was wearing sandals. He had on flip-flops. They said, was it because he was wearing sandals or was it the way he was walking in them? And she said both. I think it was both. So Allie girl, if you knew you wasn't attracted to him because he was wearing sandals during the honeymoon, the very beginning, why did you drag this all the way to the altar, playing in his mama face like that? Anton tells everybody he's over this flip-flop hater and he has a new girlfriend now named Miranda. When Allie was asked if she's seeing anyone, she gonna say, I appreciate any personal interest in my life, but I want to keep it personal right now. Girl, bye. Now it's Calabria and Edmond's turn. Calabria took a post-it note out of her boobs, talking about, I have to write it down, I get nervous. But when she started talking, she didn't seem nervous. The whole time, Calabria was telling Edmond everything he did wrong. You did this, you did this, you did that. You. You dismissed me and my feelings all the time, and I feel like you was manipulating me when you was crying. You cried a lot. You cried 10 days straight. Then one day you said, I'm done crying. Then after that, you started being mean. Whenever she told him what he did wrong, he would say, I don't remember that. I never did that. That's not true. I loved you, KB. I cared about you. I never wanted you to feel manipulated or that I dismissed you. Then he brings up her being emotional because she would be PMSing. He was like, you be PMSing. I was like, what? You be kissing the floor. You be eating your own boogers. She brings up examples of him being dismissive, like that time they were in the car and he was ignoring her and only spoke to the driver. He said, that's not true. She was like, but you apologized for it. You brought me flowers. Talking about you sorry. What you talking about? He said, I don't remember. Calabria told Edmond, you made me look like the angry black woman. I told you not to make me look like that. They just don't understand. You would do things to make me mad before the camera came on. And by the time the camera came on, I'm mad now. Calabria, you're in charge of your own emotions as a grown woman. Just like she's saying Edmond was manipulative, she's also manipulative. And I wish Edmond would have called her out on that. Every time they would have a fight, they would make up and she would make it seem like everything was all right and that it was possible for them to get married still, knowing good and well she didn't want to marry that man. And she wasn't going to marry that man. We finally wrap all this up by KB saying Edmond was the perfect person to have gone through this experiment with. Was he really? Or is she still over there lying? And she apologized for calling him out his name when they were sitting up there on that mountain. Then there goes Edmond talking about he never would have gotten a woman like KB if he never would have went on Love is Blind. KB's like, give me a hug, and they stand up and hug. Get out of here. This reunion was filled up with a whole bunch of unnecessary things. Basketball, people having longer airtime than they deserve. Nothing was accomplished, and we can't even be surprised because we didn't even get any weddings. That couldn't even be accomplished. Season 9 is one for the trash. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about this reunion down in the comments so we can talk about it. And if you haven't already and want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.